Hey guys, so the PlayStation 5 showcase ended a few hours ago, and I thought I'd give you guys my take on the announcements. A lot of new games, a lot of remasters, everything. Really strong showcase from PlayStation today, so let's get right to it. First of all, starting with Knights of the Old Republic Remake, which is just absolutely huge. That's one of the most beloved games of the entire Star Wars franchise and just games in general. I haven't played it. It's one of my biggest gaming sins, if you will. I did try it on Android, and gaming on your phone, like, it's not for me. So I'm really excited that this is happening. I think PlayStation is footing the bill on this one because otherwise it probably wouldn't be happening and it wouldn't be a PlayStation exclusive. So after that, they showed this Project Eva thing, which looks crazy. It looks like some sort of Bayonetta meets Metal Gear Rising, which, a lot of over-the-top action. So as an action game, it looks a lot of fun. I'll guess we'll have to see the gameplay and the reviews when it eventually comes out. Not really my type of game, but I do enjoy playing those every once in a while. After that, they showed Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which... So this looks actually pretty good. But the problem that I have with this game is that Tiny Tina's voice is in it. So I just don't want to play that, right? Yeah, otherwise it looks like an interesting, fun game. But the fact that the whole thing is shrouded with Tiny Tina as your DM seems like an absolute nightmare. I don't know why they're attaching that, Tiny Tina to this new game. I think that's a mistake from their part, but I guess they might know better. After that, they showed Forspoken, and this just looks incredible. At the start, I thought it was Final Fantasy 16, and I was kind of right because this is being developed by part of the team that worked on Final Fantasy 15. So there are some Final Fantasy roots inside here, and I think you can tell that from the spells that we saw, which look incredible. I don't think I've ever seen something, a spell look that great on a game basically ever. So I'm really excited about that one. It looks great. It's written by Gary Whitta and apparently Amy Hennig, which are two incredible talents. So, keep your eyes open for that one. After that, we got a couple of lower key announcements like Rainbow Six Extraction, which was already announced and I think already shown. Alan Wake Remastered, which... I'm not a big Remedy fan. I didn't like Control, so I'm just not excited about that. After that, Grand Theft Auto 5 coming to the PlayStation 5. Who could have thought about that? Yeah, it's getting a remastered. It's weird seeing a Grand Theft Auto game span 3 console generations, but that's where we are, I guess. I guess Grand Theft Auto Online is that huge, so, After that, they showed Ghostwire Tokyo, which, again, this game has been shown several times before. I think the gameplay looks very cool. There's this, magic karate thing going on. Something which, I don't know, looks a lot of fun. I really dig the environment of this game. The character designs, the enemy designs, and everything. I think it looks awesome. I'm just waiting for a release date now. That's pretty much all I can say about that. After that, they showed Guardians of the Galaxy, the game, coming out on October 26th. So that's really soon. And that might actually... It's looking to be like an interesting game, at least. It might actually be good, I think. The protagonist, the humor, everything was pretty good. So, that's an interesting one. But it is coming 4 days after Battlefield 2042. So I don't think I'm going to cover it. But I am interested in seeing it. And, hopefully that turns out to be an actually good game. And I think after this, we got the weakest part of the showing because we got Blood Hunt, which does look very cool, like a vampire battle royale-ish thing. But I don't know, it's just... I think there are a lot of those games out now, and I was actually... I signed up for the beta, but didn't have the time to get in. If I can, I will try it out because it does look very cool. Speaking of which, following that, they showed Deathloop, which is coming 5 days from now. And honestly, it looks cool. It's always looked cool. but I am so over this game. Like, I feel like I played it 5 times already because they've shown this so many times that I honestly lost the interest in it. At least that's me. Leave your comment down below if it happened to you as well, because I think a lot of people are just... I'm tired of seeing that game, honestly. It's been like, what, 3 years or something? I don't know. It's coming in 5 days. I haven't bought it. I don't think I'll be covering it. I was interested in doing that, in covering that game, but I don't know, man. It's just... I've already seen it so many times. After that, they had a Radiohead Amnesia thing, project art thing, which looks very interesting. That's obviously, I at least I think it's not an actual game. It's more like an art thing. So that's going to be very interesting. And after that, we got Chia, which is this island adventure thing game, which I have zero interest in. It's not my type of game. So let's move on. Uncharted Remastered coming to PC, and that is just massive. Uncharted 4 is coming to PC with Lost Legacy, which is actually a really good game. So if you haven't played that and you're not a PlayStation player, PlayStation user, definitely check that out because Uncharted 4 is just incredible. So it's really good that people with PC are going to be able to experience that. Hopefully more PlayStation games will make their way to PC in the future. And I think this will be the PlayStation strategy going forward because they know they can get a lot of sales on PC by putting their PlayStation exclusives there, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if we see Marvel's Spider-Man coming this year or maybe next year onto PC as well. Speaking of Insomnia Games, they announced Wolverine, Marvel's Wolverine. It seems like Insomniac is working very closely with Marvel now. Maybe Insomniac is going to be the Marvel's gaming universe developer going forward. I don't know, but getting a Wolverine game, that's going to be really interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised that it's going to be very different from Marvel's Spider-Man, at least in scope. Because, you know, in Spider-Man, you get New York, you can go all over New York City. In a Wolverine game, that doesn't really make much sense to make it an open world game. Maybe it's going to be a more like narrative driven thing or something. I don't know, but definitely psyched for that one. After that, GT Sport coming March 4th next year, which is fairly close. I can live with that. I'm good with that date. GT Sport is looking incredible. I think they've done, you know, they've shown this several times already. Graphics look awesome. It's a GT game, right? It's a Gran Turismo game. So I said GT Sport, but it's actually Gran Turismo 7. It's not GT Sport. GT Sport is like a smaller thing than Gran Turismo games. And finally, we have the two big ones. Spider-Man 2 announced for 2023, so that's coming, you know, a while from now. But now we know who the antagonist is going to be, and that's going to be Venom. So hopefully we are going to get to play with the Venom powers and everything. It's obvious. So that's going to be really, really cool. And I am beyond excited for that because both Spider-Man games so far have been just incredibly good games. And we got our first look at God of War Ragnarok, which just looks incredible. The team developing this, they changed the director. So I don't know, man. I mean, I hope they do a really good job, and I think they will. One thing that I am concerned about is I think the enemy types that we saw, a lot of similar enemy types, and the first game was like a 50-hour game. So you fought those enemies, you know, several hours already, 50 hours. So getting more of that in another game is going to be kind of exhausting. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but, you know, the weapons and stuff, I don't know. Hopefully they find a way to make it fresh again. But I wouldn't be surprised that God of War 2 is going to be also a massive hit and also going to get really good reviews because the talent behind that game is just really good. Speaking of, after this whole showcase thing, we got an interview section and Cory Balrog was there, who was the developer of, you know, God of War basically. And he seems to be working on some unannounced project. So, you know, hair's tingling on that one because that guy knows what he's doing. he basically reinvented God of War. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting. So very promising future for PlayStation 5. Past year and even this year for the PlayStation 5 was like, meh, you know, not a whole lot of things going on. Ratchet and Clank, but that's not for everyone. So yeah, it's really good to see that next year is going to be really strong. And 2023 with Marvel's Spider-Man 2, that's obviously going to be huge. All right, guys, that's it for the PlayStation Showcase. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoy this type of video, I might do more of them. So, you know, comment. All right, see you later. And hopefully, as always, I hope I will catch you in the next one.